Okay, so what if I told you that you could completely transform your life? We're talking health, wealth, happiness, the whole shebang, all before your first cup of coffee. Sounds a little too good to be true, right? Well, that is the huge promise behind Hal Elrod's book, The Miracle Morning. And in this explainer, we're going to dig in and see if there's a real solid method behind all that magic. I mean, look at this. The book literally asks you, can you really transform your entire life before 8 a.m.? Your health, your happiness, your finances, just with a morning routine? It's a massive claim. But believe it or not, the story of how this whole idea even came about is maybe even crazier than the promise itself. Yeah, because the secret to this whole thing, it wasn't born in some fancy business seminar. Nope. It starts with the author, Hal Elrod, getting hit head on by a drunk driver. And for 6 full minutes, he was clinically dead. Now, you'd think that would be the lowest point of anyone's life, right? His first rock bottom. But here's the unbelievable part. It wasn't his last. It wasn't even what he considered his worst. So, to really get what the Miracle Morning is all about, we gotta look at the two huge crises that basically forced him to invent a whole new way to live. I mean, the whiplash of this guy's life is just astounding. Look at this. In 1999, he's in this horrific crash, 11 broken bones, permanent brain damage, and they tell him he might not walk again. But just 1 year later, in 2000, he's not just walking, he's one of the top salespeople in his company. Unbelievable. He builds this incredible life, and then, bam, 2007, the US economy crashes, and he loses absolutely everything, all over again. And this time, it wasn't about broken bones. It was a financial and emotional freefall. He was almost $500,000 in debt. Can you even imagine? He was so depressed he couldn't even get out of bed most days. And, he says in the book this actually felt worse than being declared dead, because at least then people were around him. This time, he was just completely, totally alone. So he's desperate, right? Ready for anything. A friend gives him some super simple advice. Go for a run. It'll help clear your head. Now, Hal hated running. But hey, what did he have to lose? So he laces up his shoes, puts on a personal development audio, and heads out the door. And on that run, he has this breakthrough. A moment that would literally change everything. He's listening to this audio, and he hears this quote from Jim Rohn, and it just hits him like a lightning bolt. He literally stops dead in his tracks on the sidewalk, and it all clicked. He realized the answer to all his problems, the debt, the depression, it wasn't out there somewhere. The answer was inside of him. And this slide really breaks down that aha moment perfectly. You see, Hal realized he wanted level 10 success in his life, right? Top-tier finances, amazing relationships, total happiness. But his own personal development, his mindset, his habits, he felt like he was maybe level 2. And that gap, that huge space between the person he was and the person he needed to become to attract that level 10 life, that was the real problem. That's where all the struggle was coming from. So he runs straight home from that run, totally fired up, and his mission is clear: close that gap. He knew he had to dedicate time every single day to personal development, and he figured the morning, that's the only time he could absolutely guarantee it would get done before the day got crazy. So he sat down and created this simple but super powerful 6-part routine, and he gave it a great name, the Life SAVRs. And this acronym is the core of the whole thing. It's 6 key practices. S is for silence, meditation, prayer, just quiet time to calm your mind. A is for affirmations, basically programming your brain for success. V is for visualization, picturing yourself winning. E is for exercise, even just a few minutes to get the blood pumping. R is for reading, learning something new from a book. And the last S is for scribing, which is just a cool word for journaling. The craziest part, he does this, and within just 2 months, his income had more than doubled, and his depression, gone. So at this point, he knew he had stumbled onto something huge. He starts sharing it with his coaching clients, they start sharing it with their friends, and this little idea starts to spread like wildfire. A real movement starts to grow. But the big question was, okay, this worked for him. Could this simple little routine really work for everybody else? Well, the results started pouring in, and they were incredible. Take a look at this one from Mike McDermott, a sales manager. For him, the impact was fast and it was real. His income more than doubled, and he got into the best shape of his life. It just goes to show how this one routine could hit both your wallet and your health at the same time. And then there's William Hugen. His transformation was huge. It wasn't just that he felt amazing, he actually lost 25 pounds. And this really drives home the point that the benefits weren't just about, external stuff like money. It was about fundamentally changing your health, your happiness, your productivity from the inside out. Rob Leroy's story? This one brings it all full circle. It's that whole success parallel thing in action. His business was totally struggling. But by focusing on himself first thing in the morning, by raising his own level of personal development, he turned his entire business around. It's exactly what Hal realized. As Rob became more capable, the results just followed. So that's the core idea, right? Success isn't something you go out and chase. It's something you attract by the person you become. By dedicating that very first hour of the day to becoming that better version of yourself, you literally change the course for everything that follows. The book says that first hour is like the rudder on a ship. It's a small thing that steers the whole rest of the vessel. So it leaves us with a really powerful question. Where are you going to steer your day tomorrow?